reason that I've been able to build $1 million practice in 4 or 5 years and really just make some incredible change in my community. So we're going to do that. But everything with this, and I'm going, full speed ahead at you today and trying to give you as much as I can. But you got to really learn this stuff. You really got to take it and study it, own it and communicate it and practice it and understand it in a way that you can communicate it. If you're going to bring up the topic of vaccinations, if you're going to bring up the topic of medications, you better know what the heck you're talking about. Don't be, see, what chiropractors love to do is they love to get on Facebook and they love to say, vaccines cause autism and mercury and all these other sort of things. But then if they really get into the conversation, they don't quite have as, not everybody, I mean, we're better at it than most, but they got to really be able to kind of have that full conversation, that full understanding behind it. One of the biggest issues with pediatricians in medicine is that they are super, super, super fear-based, scare care-based. What do you think a bunch of these, unfortunately what us chiropractors learn is we go to these stupid groups and these stupid things that are out there, and what do they teach us? They teach us scripts and they teach us things that are all fear care and scare care. They teach us to put x-rays up and say, oh, there's your cervical curve, it's all screwed up and you have degeneration and that nerve goes to the heart and if your heart's going to explode and you're going to die, so I need to see you 3 times a week till you reach Social Security. And that's what we're being taught as chiropractors to do. So we get out there and we wave our flag and we're like, oh, medicine's all fear care and scare care and medications. And then we don't really know jack about what we're actually doing. We're just trying to say, well, we're better. You should come to us because they suck. That's an accurate statement. They shouldn't go to them because medicine does suck and it's going to destroy a kid's life if they follow, the pediatrician's advice. But parents are smarter than that these days. You have to be able to give them a why on the background. What people will, and again, as you go along, you have to be okay with this because everybody in life to sell something, what you do when you get into practice, you're a chiropractic salesman, okay? You're a salesman or saleswoman of our lifestyle. You need to be okay with that because we're selling the most powerful, incredible thing in the world. But people buy from you, they commit to care, they bring their child into you because of the why, okay? That you have to answer that question for them. You can't say, you come here because they suck, or do this because that sucks. You have to be able to explain what you do and why you do it, and do it in a manner that relates to them. And so one of the biggest things I hate is that when people, whether they're talking about disc degeneration or talking about this, where they just talk about the fear care side of things. And again, I kind of had to lay the negative onto you today for the sake of time, but if you imagine all of that sort of stuff, all the negative sequelae of the subluxation, and you turn it around and you think about it, okay, if that subluxation gets corrected, let's say that child's born via that birth process, and instead of going immediately to the NICU to get their Hep B shot and their Infamil formula, what if that child was delivered and they went, oh crap, we had to do C-section for this kiddo, let me get him right over to the pediatric chiropractor first. Pediatric chiropractor makes an adjustment, corrects that subluxation, now they go right to mom and nurse and live the rest of their life. If you reverse the 5Ds and reverse the 3Ts, how powerful is that on a kid's life? And how many kids get to have that? So build your practice upon, yes, being able to communicate the negative, and yes, being able to talk about what the subluxation does, what vaccinations do, what medications do, and all of these things. But you always have to finish the conversation with the positive side of it. You have to, what parents want more so than anything, parents will pay any amount of money. You absolutely, when you build a pediatric practice, you might as well just be ready to rocket cash because it's the easiest cash practice to build in a heartbeat. Because parents will pay any amount of money to get their child better once they see the why and once they see the value in the service that you provide. And when you do that, I got off track there. Sorry, my ADHD just kicked in pretty bad. I'll be getting adjusted later on this afternoon. But when you do that and you build that value, that's what the parents will latch on to. They will latch on to your ability to communicate what they're going to get out of it, to your ability to communicate what their child's potential and development is going to do when they get that adjustment. So yeah, there's two sides to the coin. If you make that adjustment, you're stopping all the path to autism, ADHD, and anxiety. So you gotta have that conversation. But don't leave the conversation out of saying, you know what really, really, really kicks ass? Is a healthy, normal, amazing child. Dr. Chestnut, who's one of my biggest mentors, taught this to me. He said, people always look at my daughter and they go, man, she's incredible. She can do this already at this age, and she can do this already at this age, and she's so healthy. That you're so lucky, and she just must be this super kiddo, and da-da-da-da. And now people do that with my 3 kids. You know what my kids, Addison, Oliver, and Elena, are? Normal. 110%.